Yo, what is up, boys? Name is Gib here. We need to talk about artificing in Arknights Endfield. Now, you need to be post-wooling to even start getting into artificing. You will get a tutorial quest for it after you finish like the main story, I think, or maybe it's level based. I have no idea what it is. But artificing is pretty expensive in Arknights. However, once you finish artificing, you're just done like that, right? Because a lot of people have been talking about, how is the gear system, Arknights, everything, and no one was an end game. Well, people have been getting end game. I've been getting end game. I've been looking into artificing gear and like how you increase the stats and everything like that. It's very similar to the honing system in Lost Ark. That's like the closest reminder I have, or just like leveling gear in MMO if it has an RNG for leveling the gear. MapleStory also had a similar system like this. However, the systems in those games are more predatory, I would say, than in these games, because you paid for the mats in those, while in these you're just using your stock market materials, so it's more of just a time gate on getting the materials. But so artificing your gear, right? The first thing is, right, you need a lot of stock bills, because artificing your gear doesn't only just take these wooling artificing catalysts, which just looks like a battery, right? It also takes, you need to have another piece of your gear or another piece of gear in order to artifice as well every time. So right here, if I wanted to increase this ultimate gain efficiency, right? You have 20 attempts to do this, I'm pretty sure, and then 9 is the max. So at 20, I think you're guaranteed to get it. And if you get it before that early, then you just get a free level, which is nice. But yeah, so I want to artifice this gear right here, right? I need one of these little ticket suits. Also, so another big thing about artificing. So you can increase the stats. You have a higher chance of increasing the stats if you use something that is higher than the stat, if that makes sense. For example, this thing on my Perlicut, right? It has 87 intellect, right? Versus this 63 intellect. So it's a good match for it, right? So if I use this pulsar set, right? Let me go find that. So yeah, if I go craft this, right? And I go back over here to artificing, that's the wrong one. Intellect, right? And I go over here. This has a good match versus I use this Eternal Zeronite armor, which doesn't have higher intellect, as 58 intellect. It will not be as good of a match. Now, I think the reason for that is probably because once you go up, it doesn't give you good match anymore, I think. So once you go over this stat, you won't have the boost anymore, but that is at 87. So it's like a while before you actually go over the stat. So yeah, you want to be crafting the gear with the higher stat on it. Let me go get one of these batteries though, so I can pop one of these bad boys in. Another thing is, so these batteries, right? I don't know if they're monthly or weekly, but they're one of the two. You don't want to be buying the super cheap artificing catalyst unless you just really want to buy it, because you want to be buying these ones that expire before you buy this one. Or you could just buy the ones that expire, I guess not expire, buy the ones that don't expire, and then once you're out of those, then you're only buying the ones that expire. There's two ways to do it. These are for, they're cheaper, right? So it's easier to ease you into artificing just to get all your stats and stuff like that. But once you go into the weekly ones, as you can see, it's 60k and 120k. So once you get to the 120k ones, you're going to be doing 10 for a million, which is insane. You would have to hit some crazy max win on elastic goods. But if we're being realistic, eventually you're going to be at a point where you're only buying stuff from the shop. I'm already at the point where I'm only buying stuff from the shops right now. I only buy like credits, like materials and stuff like that from the Valley 4 shop. And I've been buying stuff out of this too. Made sure I bought like these gears with like good main stats and stuff like that. I bought this to test if there was another, some of the pieces for artificing don't have a higher stat. For example, the Bone Crusher Heavy Armor here, the ultimate gain efficiency, all of the other ultimate gain efficiencies are lower than this one, or they're the same. So like, you can't get a like increased good match, which I feel like sucks. It just is what it is, I guess. But this is so expensive, it is insane, man. We're gonna get two of these real quick. Just to pop them in here. So yeah, I would increase my ultimate gain efficiency. We're gonna hit this, see if we hit it. Let's go. artificing progress +1. That means we did not get it. That is unfortunate. Okay, we have to go make another chest plate. It gets crazy. I feel like they can streamline the UI for the system, by the way. I feel like there's a way better way they gotta make, because, okay, it's all in the gear menu, but I feel like you should be able to go from this menu into artificing, which you can't. You do it all from the gear menu, which I don't think is like the worst, because at least it's all in the gear area. But I feel like maybe while you're artificing, they should give you an option to craft a piece of gear that has the match for what you're doing. I feel like they could add that in here for sure. Maybe in the future or something like that. But yeah, for right now, you just go find the piece that you were previously using to craft into your piece. I was using this, right? So I just craft a bunch of these. I go literally broke because it costs 8K per. I'm not actually broke, I have 400K. But that 400K, like you see, costs 120K to get 2 of these bad boys, you know? The 120K goes, it evaporates, get Thanos snapped. Do we hit this? Artificing successful. We have max limit reached on this ultimate gain efficiency. So I hit this 3 times, right? And I hit it. And I think that took me 5 or 6 pieces of gear, maybe 7 pieces of gear, 6 or 7 pieces of gear for that one stat. Now there's 9 of them, right? Because it's 3, 6, and 9 for the artificing, right? So you want to keep that in mind. But overall, for this gearing system, it seems pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that there's no RNG on the stats or anything. Now, the thing that there is the super big RNG on is obviously your essence on your weapon. This is a massive sanity sink here. This is a massive, massive sanity sink, because you need to get a essence that drops with all 3 stats that you want. For example, on this, I'm looking for a will, attack, and attack, right? But I don't even want this. I hope they drop a weapon better for Arknight in the future that is not will, because she doesn't scale off of will, so will is kind of useless, right? And I actually don't even know why they made this will, because the other sword character that, I'm pretty sure Chen, does she scale off of will? I don't even think she does. I don't know which sword character that they have that scales off of will. Because will is for healing pretty much, but then you're like, okay, will is for treatment, right? No DPS that scale off of will, but then Avelena, her main stat is will. So they just did like a roulette table, you know? It was like, yeah, throw the dartboard at this spinning at these 4 stats, whichever one it is what they scale off of. She scales off of will and agility. I don't know if there's like a lore reason for that or something like that, but the things that people scale off of, like hers makes sense, right? She's agility and she's intellect. That makes sense. There's like some MMO type genre, right? But then, yeah, everyone is scaled off of will, and then I'm like, okay, it doesn't make any sense. And then like Perlica scales off of like intellect and will. That like kind of makes sense. But then Ontal scales off of intellect and strength. So like, I don't even know. But yeah, the bigger sanity sink is 100% going to be getting these essences for sure. Now, hopefully in the future, maybe like how the weapons will go, you'll have a really good essence, and then in the future you get a weapon that also has, like, shares that essence. Because, you know, you could be using essence like 2 out of 3 of the stats, and it would still be good for you. But we don't know. We don't know what the weapons look like in the future, you know. But right now, that's currently what I'm running. Like, little update, I'm level 51. Oh, this is not the main idea of the video, so I'll keep it at the end right here. If you're wondering on how to make Wuling dollars, big money, besides the stock market, okay, you need to have some syringe farm going on, okay? Gotta have some syringe farm going on. I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna show you what my syringe farm is looking like. I'll put the, actually check out my last video. I made a video literally just before talking about my Wuling base. I've actually improved it, so I may make an updated Wuling base video, because I did kind of make it better. I moved over my gear farm that was over here. This doesn't even work because it doesn't have Zero Night going into it because I moved it over. But yeah, this is my using syringe farm. This doesn't really need 2 bottles going into it. It does help the efficiency, but like the problem is you can only make 6 per minute of this, like no matter what, because of the limits on the Ferium. I hope we get more Ferium in Wuling. I don't know why they give you, what is it, like 90 Ferium you're allowed to have? The max you can have a Ferium in Wuling is 90, so you have to manually transfer it by either going into your Daijang or going into the, just manually transferring it in the regional transfer thing. I guess it's not manually transferring it. I meant like with your inventory. But yeah, besides that, that's how I've been making my dollar bills, you know. Biggest thing realistically is just the stock market and stuff, you know. there's also like your dailies. Make sure you do your depot nodes. You know, make sure you try to get some people's like deliveries, stuff like that. Yeah, but overall, not much to it besides just hitting a big stock. If you don't get a good stock one day, do it on the next day. Don't forget you can save it for at least 2 days maximum before you sell. So just a good thing to keep in mind. But yeah, I want to talk about artificing today. It's very expensive, but it's after you do it, it's done type of thing. Kind of like the factory, you know? It's like you're like, I put all this stuff in the factory, you're like, holy, I got the factory locked in, and now you're done. So it's kind of the same thing for artificing. But if someone has information about artificing that I didn't talk about or anything like that, feel free to let me know for sure, because I may be missing something on it that I don't know. And yeah, I'm going to keep trying to get my Lightning team to have max artifice gear, and then I'll be full juice. But Gib video here again. I'll see y'all. Hope you enjoy the content. Subscribe for more Arknights content. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Gib, and I'll see ya later. Goodbye.